Hello, I'm your instructor, Molly Baxter, and welcome to Anatomy and Physiology. This is a brief overview of the class. It might be useful to you if you've never taken a class in RAMS online. It will just kind of point the way. So here's our class. When I talk about class, I'm talking about the RAMS component of it, the RAMS online component of it. Everything's here online. We will be having class, we'll be meeting here at this Collaborate link for class every Monday and Wednesday from 1:30 to 2:45. So I will see you on Monday at 1:30 and you can click in early. Here is a document to show you how to join if you've never joined a Collaborate session. Here at this green P is your link to your online assignments. This is an external website. It's Pearson Mastering Anatomy and Physiology. And if we click on that, you will see Open My Lab and Mastering. Click there, and your view will be different from mine because you have got to register for that assignment. So once you click Open My Lab and Mastering, you will be given the choice to enter your access code, which you purchase with your textbook, or you can register for free online work for 2 weeks. I believe it's 2 weeks. So you just got to read your prompts and choose the correct selection. If you choose the free one, those online assignments will disappear in 2 weeks if you don't go in with a credit card and pay for it. If you pay for it with a credit card, those assignments are saved. And I bring those, after every test, I bring those over into Gradebook. Those online assignments are required. It consists of a homework assignment for each chapter. If you get a 90% or better on that homework assignment, you do not have to do the follow-up adaptive mastering assignment. If you get less than 90%, you will be required to do an additional assignment, about 15 minutes, and that covers the material you did poorly on and the homework. So it's targeted to your learning. If you do not need to take that adaptive follow-up because you scored 90 or better, you automatically get 10 points on that assignment. So if you want to save time, you learn the material before you go in and do the homework. In addition, at this My Lab and Mastering, if you look at the calendar view, you will see that there is a quiz each week. So there's a homework assignment, the adaptive follow-up if you need to do it, and a quiz. There are other assignments that you can do, but you will not get points for them. They are called dynamic study modules. They are great. You can download an app, the Pearson Mastering app for your phone, and do those dynamic study modules on your phone. You do those over and over and you will know the material. And then this link here is our link to our class, the lab, which is at Visible Body, and I'll show you what that looks like. So if you were to go to this, to Visible Body, you would see that it looks like this. You'd first take your Getting Started, read through this, click on this and read through it, and then do your Getting Started quiz. Click here on Language of Anatomy. There is reading to do here. It all relates to Chapter 1. This will help you with the material that's in the textbook. For this Lab 1, the Language of Anatomy, there is a worksheet to fill out, and you'll see it's the Lab 1 Anatomical Scavenger Hunt. We'll go back to that assignment, and then also you can see that Lab 1 also consists of an organ systems overview. So all of this material is all covered in Chapter 1, and it's great. It will really help you with Chapter 1. Now that lab will be submitted later. I'll show you where to submit that in just a minute. So you'll notice here 2 arrows, Open All and Close All. Right now the Close All button has been hit and all of these modules are closed. If I hit Open All, it will confuse things. Everything opens up and everything's right in front of you. So it's really best to get started with Close All. So we're going to get started with the very first module, the Getting Started module. Here are our announcements. There's an announcement in there right now. You need to click on those announcements when you come into class. Hopefully you're getting those announcements on your smartphone. This video will be here in course introductions. A short video here to meet me. This is a document that welcomes you, tells you a little bit about my teaching philosophy, a little bit about my background. It's not very long. The syllabus is pretty standard. Every class has a standardized syllabus telling you what you're going to learn in this class. A very important document is the syllabus addendum. It's long. Don't print it out. Just read it. The problem with online students is often they don't know the rules for the class and they miss some of those rules. They miss assignments because they haven't read the rules. So please read through the addendum, know the rules for this class so we can discuss them when we get to class, and read through that document. Here's a quick tour of RAMS. I would view that document. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can post them here in the Q&A. I believe that really there is no stupid question, but just because other people know the answer doesn't mean it's a stupid question. If you don't know the answer to a question, you don't know it for whatever reason. So post it here. Usually if a question's posted there, other people have exactly the same question. And this way I can respond to your question there in this forum so everybody else can see the answer to the question. Now in this class we'll be using Respondus Lockdown Browser and the webcam for testing. So be sure you can download that. All the documents to do that are right there under Respondus Lockdown Browser. And then you do want to explore the links here and know what's going on. Read the policies block and so on. So spend some time here in this Getting Started module so you know what's going on in class. And then it tells you what to do next. Next, navigate to the enrollment key quiz, and it's right there below it. Take and submit the enrollment key quiz before the due date of August 26th. So I'm going to open that block. And here is the enrollment key quiz. Now you can't see it now because it's not available until August 17th, the first day of class. Then this link will be available to you. You take that quiz and you're good to go. If you don't take that quiz, you won't see anything below and you'll be dropped from class. So once you've taken that, follow the next Navigate to Week 1 module. Read the module overview. Okay, so you can see that this first module says Week 1 and Week 2, and then we see the same thing for Week 5 and Week 6, for 8 and 9, and for 11 and 12. 4 times this semester, you will have 2 weeks to do a chapter. That usually means it's a pretty tough chapter. Now, the first week's chapter is not tough. However, there's so much you have to adapt to and get used to all these rules and get used to doing your online assignments and get used to doing your visual body lab assignment. There's quite a bit to kind of take in the first 2 weeks. So I've given you 2 weeks for that. So that first assignment is not due until September 1st. And there you go, due September 1st. So everything in this module is due September 1st. There's your warning right there. Everything's right there and it's due. Now this semester, our school has started an initiative called Quality Matters, and it's kind of standardizing how we approach the online learning environment. So in this standardization, you're going to see objectives, resource review. So you want to review your objectives, review the resources, complete these assignments, activities, forums, quizzes. It tells you what you're doing this 2 weeks during this module, and then what you'll be able to do once you finish this module. So read through those and you'll see what's coming up and what's going on in chapter 1. And then I also have my own personal overview for each chapter. This first one's pretty important. Read through that and it will tell you some of what I've been saying here anyway, but it's a good thing to review it and repeat it. Now here's our first forum, so you will need to post there to introduce yourself, and when you click on that forum, it will tell you how to do that. Here is another link to our online assignment. And here's another link to the lab assignment. So you might see these links scattered throughout the class, but if I've forgotten to put a link somewhere, you can always go to the top of the class for those links. They'll work for the entire term. And your online assignments should be good for a whole year. All right, so now we're going to get to chapter 1. So here are some of my resources. For every chapter, I have what's called a narrated PowerPoint. I talk you through, just like we're in class, I talk you through chapter 1. Each PowerPoint's less than 15 minutes. While you're listening and while you're watching that PowerPoint, you can take notes, and then you would study those notes, just as if you were taking notes in class. The advantage is you can watch the narrated PowerPoints over and over. If you have a long drive to work, you can watch the narrated PowerPoints. Or not watch, sorry, listen to those narrated PowerPoints on your way to work. Chapter 1 is just the PowerPoint. I always type out an outline for each chapter. Later on, it will be useful because it will show certain modules of the text that we're not covering, and it just points to the most important part of each section of that chapter. Here are tips to learn on chapter 1, what to learn from chapter 1. You want to read through all this. Here are some terms to memorize, and it is an activity. So print this out, cut along the lines, and using tape. After you've learned the names, stick the names to the correct location. Here's a directional terms worksheet, and there are the answers. Do the whole worksheet before you check your answers, and more to do. Completing the activities below. Oops, this label goes up above here. I've still got some work to do in this class. So completing these activities will help you with the material for chapter 1, and that's your goal, is to learn the material in chapter 1. Now this part here that says additional resources, that is for the entire semester. It's not just for chapter 1. It is some very good sites to go to that may be useful to you. So you won't know if you like it until you click on it and try it. It doesn't take long to go in and look at a video and see if it's the kind of thing you like for your learning. Here are some apps you can purchase for your phone. And be sure to check out my study area at the Pearson website. It's really, really good. So further down here, we have all the test information. Now, for each test, I'll have a very specific Quizlet related to the material. There's a quiz show you want to open up to full screen so you can see the answers. Chapter 1 things to know, you either want to print out and answer by hand on it, or type your answers in. This will be your study guide for the final exam. So you're preparing already for your final exam. We'll be using Respondus. So this is a very short practice test that you can take to make sure that you've downloaded and can use Respondus correctly. Now here's the test for chapter 1. It's grayed out to you because it's not available yet. It won't be available until you've done these activities. So we need to see what activity, eventually it will say there what activity you have to complete. The first one, I believe, was the tips on how to learn chapter 1. So once you've opened that, there will be a box over here. You can check that box off that you have done that activity, and you're going to do 4 of those, and you will then be able to take that test. Now, the test is due at midnight on September 1st. So you do want to, and you do have the opportunity to take it twice. So you want to take it possibly the day before, by maybe August 31st, so that if you don't do well, you can study some more for chapter 1 and retake it. This is only for the first chapter that you get to retake it. Students often don't realize how much they have to study, learn, and know for that first chapter, and so this gives you a chance to do a little better. And then here is a submission for Lab 1, And once you click on that submission for Lab 1, you will find up here, it's not there yet because, as I said, I still have work to do in here. You will see the lab right there. That's all.